Hello guys, hello guys, welcome back. Today I will be crocheting this purse. It's a similar purse that I was crocheting last time with you guys. It will be a small boho purse, but this time I am starting almost beginning because I just did the flap and I haven't done anything else, so I will continue doing the body of the purse while talking about this crazy story about a Ukrainian beast. This story also got me interested because I am from Ukraine, so it's close to home. And also, this person was born on the same month and date as me. I don't know if that's good or bad, but a year is of course different. So, on April 7th, 1996, police in a small town of Ukraine called Zhytomyr received a phone call from a person whose name was Onoprienko. This person claimed that his cousin, whose name is Anatoly Onoprienko, was living with him for a while, and he found a stash of weapons, all kinds of weapons, and confronted Anatoly. Pyotr told him to leave the premises because he did not feel like it was safe for Anatoly to be around his house, inside his house, with so many weapons. And Pyotr also has children and wife living there as well. However, Anatoly told Pyotr that he will pay for this, and he in fact told him that he will get rid of his whole family before Easter. And this was April 7th, so Easter was coming up soon. Pyotr was concerned for the safety of himself and his family, of course, so he informed police of the whereabouts of his cousin at the moment. His cousin was residing with a woman named Anna Kazak and her daughter. They were residing in a small village near Zhytomyr. Also, Pyotr informed police that there was a 12-gauge rifle that Anatoly had, along with the other weapons. it wasn't long before they found a stereo that was actually missing from a family that was murdered not long ago in March 22nd of 1996. And one of the policemen actually conveniently had with him serial numbers of things that were missing, and this serial number ended up matching with the stereo serial number that was missing from that family. Police also discovered a pistol in Anatoly's possession. That pistol was in connection to a different murder in a city of Odessa in Ukraine. Anatoly was then taken into custody while police was doing a more thorough search throughout the whole apartment. And in total, they found 120 items. That were linked to various unsolved murders. In addition, Anatoly's girlfriend Anna was found wearing a ring that actually belonged to one of the murder victims. At first, Anatoly did not want to speak with the police, and in fact, he asked to waive his right to have an attorney. And then later, he said he would only speak to a general, which police provided for him. Anatoly was born on July 25th, 1959, in a village called Lasky in Zhytomyrskaya Oblast, after his mother died when Anatoly was only 4 years old. His father decided to send him to an orphanage, unfortunately, where he spent most of his life. Meanwhile, he kept his other brother at home. And this really hurt Anatoly later in life, and he started despising perfect families, which is the reason why he committed most of his crimes. He also mentioned that while killing families, the reason why he killed kids is because he didn't want them to end up in an orphanage like he did. So he'd rather have them die instead. When Anatoly was in his 20s, he teamed up with a friend, and his friend's name is Sergei Rogozhin. Him and Sergei Rogozhin would go and burglarize houses and steal valuables from the houses. They always had weapons in them, but they never actually had to use the weapons, according to Anatoly. Until one time when they were burglarizing the house and the family suddenly awoke, or one of the people in the family, ended up killing the entire family. So it was 2 adults and 5 children, a family of 7. He killed them all. This really upset his friend, and Anatoly said that Sergei Rogozhin parted ways with him after this and did not want to associate himself with Anatoly because he did not like that he was killing people now. Sergei just wanted to continue stealing, not doing any harm to people. After parting ways with Sergei, Anatoly actually was happy to continue murdering people and burglarizing houses. So he ended up burglarizing another house, and there he decided to kill the entire family as well. After parting ways with Rogozhin, Onoprienko decided that he wants to kill some more. But according to him, he actually did not like how dead bodies looked and the smell of death. And he said he didn't kill these people on purpose. However, his next murder victims turned out to be a family of 5 that was sleeping in a car because they had nowhere else to sleep. And Anatoly claimed that he never saw this family. So before he got in the car, he opened the car, saw them, woke them up, decided to kill them because they now saw that he's there. So they're witnessing. So he killed them all, and 11-year-old boy as well, unfortunately. And not only that, but he also sat in that car with them for 2 hours with the dead bodies, afraid to get out from the car because he said he didn't know what to do with the dead bodies after stealing their valuables. So he was deciding what to do. So according to him, he's afraid of dead bodies, but he was sitting with them for 2 hours. He finally figured out that he was gonna burn the car along with the bodies. So that's what he did. And of course, no one ever found him. So he got away with another murder. Or another few murders. He generally liked to barge into people's houses, steal their valuables, then get the whole family in one room, get them together, shoot the family if they're in the house. Sometimes he would rape the women, he would beat the children. Horrible. And sometimes he would use a hammer or an axe even. And then his signature was to burn the house down with everybody in the house. He usually used a 12-gauge shotgun. began to travel and to earn some money. He said he was doing mostly labor work, manual labor. His main source of income was burglary, of course. However, police does not believe that he stopped murdering people for that long, because usually serial killers, they don't have such a big gap between the murders for years. Usually that never happens. When Onoprienko came back to Ukraine in 1995, he didn't hesitate for too long, and in December 24th, 1995, he went to kill again. He killed an entire family of 4 with a sawed-off double-barreled shotgun that he used to be more unique, I guess. And this is what it looked like. This family was the Zaichenko family. Their house was very isolated with no other houses around, and this is the houses that Onoprienko would pick. Isolated houses in the middle of nowhere in some village, and there was no one to help usually, and police was very far away as well. This village was called Germania. Onoprienko then set the house on fire, of course, after collecting valuables. Then on January 2nd, 1996, right after New Year's, Onoprienko barged into another family house in a different village. And again, he killed the entire family of 4. And this time he also killed a pedestrian that was just walking by, and unfortunately witnessed the killings, so he had to be murdered as well, according to Onoprienko. On January 6th, 1996, so yes, this is only 4 days after the previous murder, Onoprienko striked again, but this time he allegedly killed 4 people just randomly on a highway. This highway is called Berdyansk-Dnepropetrovsk highway. So he would just stop random cars on this highway and tell people to get out of the car and shoot them, just random people. One person was a Navy veteran. Another person was a taxi driver, most likely stopped because he thought it was somebody looking for a taxi. And another woman who was working as the local village cook. Onoprienko traveled to Busk outside of unfortunately, on the third day of the interrogation and torture, this person, Yuri, unfortunately died during the torture. So it's a very sad story. But we already know that Anatoly was found, and the trial only started in 1999 due to a Ukrainian law that states that the defendant has to read all the documents that are provided to them about the evidence. And of course, Onoprienko was taking his time to do that. And the trial cannot start unless every single letter of every single page has been read, and it's a lot of pages. So the trial only started in 1999. Onoprienko was found guilty of 52 murders, and according to Ukrainian criminal code, he was sentenced to death by fire squad shooting. So that's the worst one. That's the worst death, I think, for death row. But that's what he gets, right? He also continued saying he has no remorse whatsoever during the trial. And he even said if he ever gets out, he is gonna continue his murder spree. And now the beast has awoken, now that he's been in prison, so he is gonna become worse, he said. But unfortunately, during this time in 1996, Ukraine became a part of the Council of Europe. And according to this Council of Europe, you cannot get death penalty. Can you believe this? So he got life imprisonment instead. The public argued that Onoprienko, since he killed so many people, innocent people, that he should be an exception to this case and he should still be shot. He's got no remorse. And anyway, Onoprienko still got life imprisonment. And he was imprisoned until 2013, when he actually died of a heart attack in prison. So from 1996 to 2013, he was sitting in prison. I forgot to mention that Onoprienko also killed another couple. That was before his murder spree. He just randomly came up to a car, I believe, and shot this couple that was sitting inside the car. So that was the beginning of his murder spree. Person was a total monster. And I just can't believe he was born on the same date, July 25th, as my birthday. I've actually never met anyone born on my birthday. Usually, I did meet people like the day before or the day after, but never usually share my birthday with anyone. So, have you met anyone? Let me know. I have never heard of a serial killer that have no remorse whatsoever. Such a cold-hearted. He said that he was schizophrenic and he was hearing voices inside his head telling him what to do. He said that he had possessed special hypnotic powers and his mission on Earth was to destroy humanity. And this is the reason why he was killing people. He also stated that if he had kids, he would kill imprisonment is worse because they have to sit there and suffer